I'm 46 years old, and most mornings I feel better than I did at 26. I have more energy, better sleep, sharper focus, and these 7 supplements are a big reason why. Which is funny because most of my adult life, I thought supplements were a complete waste of money. Just eat real food, sleep, lift weights, train, and that was my philosophy for a long time. And honestly, it's still 90% of the answer, but even if you have a perfect diet, you can still be deficient in key vitamins and minerals. And if you find the right supplement, it can literally change your life. And one particular supplement that I'm going to talk about, it's at number 6. It actually costs about 10 cents a day, and it completely fixed my sleep, and almost no one is taking it. And by the way, before getting into this, every brand that I personally use will be linked in the description, and I'll tell you the exact doses that I use as we go. And here's what changed my mind as I got older. At 40, I got blood work done, and at that point, I had been eating clean for over a decade, training consistently, pretty much doing everything right. But the results told a different story. I was deficient in magnesium, vitamin D, and omega-3s. These are the basic building blocks for energy, mood, and performance, and I was low on all three. And I wouldn't know that if I didn't do my blood work. And it wasn't because I was eating badly. It's because modern food, indoor living, and in my case, Canadian winters, they can create gaps that you can't always eat your way out of. So over these past few years, I built a stack around what my body actually needs, not what's trending. And here's what made the cut. Number 1 is creatine. If you take only one thing from this entire video, this is it. A lot of people still think creatine is some steroid, but it's not. It's a molecule that your body already makes. It can be found in food, and it's the most studied performance supplement in existence. Yes, you can get creatine from food, but you have to eat 2.5 pounds of raw steak every single day just to hit 5 grams. Also, cooking it destroys a chunk of creatine on top of that. And for creatine, 5 grams a day helps your body build muscle, improve strength and recovery. 10 grams a day helps improve cognitive performance. And I created a video where I maxed dose creatine for a full month. You can check it out over here. And what I found during that test was that my recovery was better. I had more energy, and my thinking was noticeably sharper. I also have a client who plays darts every weekend. He would be standing at the board with his paper in hand, trying to do the math every time he scored. After a few weeks on 10 grams of creatine a day, he can actually do the math in his head. So at 46, I'm not taking creatine for my biceps. I'm actually taking it to stay sharp. Now, supplement number 2 is magnesium glycinate, and I take 200 to 400 milligrams a night. And I never thought that one supplement could have this much impact on my life. And the very first thing I noticed was that it helped me calm down after a long, stressful day of work. And when I started tracking my sleep, the data backed it up. My sleep quality improved. The biggest thing is this. I ended up falling asleep faster because for the first time in a long time, I could actually chill the out at night. Chances are if you're watching this, you're probably deficient in magnesium. Around 75% of people in the West don't get enough, even people who eat clean. And that's because the soil our food grows in has fewer minerals in it than it used to. And it's crazy because magnesium is such an important mineral. It's involved in 300 different processes in your body when it comes to building muscle, when it comes to calming the nervous system, when it comes to your stress. And I use magnesium glycinate specifically because it absorbs well. And unlike doing another form, which is called citrate, it won't send you to the bathroom to drop the kids off at the pool every 2 minutes. I also make sure I take mine at night, but here's the thing, you can also take it in the morning if your days are super stressful. It can work both ways. And while magnesium is a great supplement, it actually pairs incredibly well with the next supplement I'm about to talk about. Supplement number 3 is vitamin D3, and especially during the times where we don't have a lot of sun, I take 2,000 to 4,000 IU in the morning. Now, most people think vitamin D is a vitamin. It actually says it in the name, but it's actually a hormone, and your body makes it from being in sunlight. And if you live roughly north of Atlanta or spend most of your days indoors, which most of us do, you're probably not getting enough. And I've looked at hundreds of different types of clients' blood work, and something that I noticed with around 70% of them is that they are deficient in vitamin D. And something I notice when I'm getting enough sun and my vitamin D levels are optimal is 2 things. Number 1 is my mood is noticeably happier. And number 2 is I just naturally eat less. I'm not as hungry. And most people have no idea that those 2 things are actually connected to vitamin D. And I also live in Canada, so my levels drop every winter. So here's a quick pro tip. We want to pair vitamin D with magnesium. They work together as a team, and magnesium absorbs and does its job a lot better when they're paired together. And by the way, I put together a free guide on the supplement protocol we use with clients to look and feel 20 years younger. Grab it at the link in the description below. Let's move on. Number 4 is psyllium husk, and this has to be one of the most underrated supplements on the planet, and I actually talked about it on this video over here. Around 90% of Americans don't get enough fiber, and fiber isn't just about staying regular. It feeds your gut bacteria, slows down blood sugar spikes, and helps you eat less without trying. Now, this next point might be a little gross, but stick with me because there is a point, I promise. Before I started taking psyllium husk, every time I would have a big steak, I would get what I can only call the meat farts. My wife Linda was absolutely disgusted, and to her credit, she accepted that it was just a part of who I was. But here's what happens when you eat a ton of protein and not enough fiber. Some of that protein doesn't break down up top. It actually ends up further down in your gut where your bacteria ferments it and basically just sits there and it rots. That rotten egg smell is actually sulfur. Fiber flips this on its head. It feeds the good bacteria, the ones that keep things moving and balanced, and pushes the leftover protein through faster so it's not hanging around carpet bombing my poor wife. So a couple weeks into my psyllium husk experiment, the meat farts were basically gone, and the few that were left didn't even really smell that bad. And now, thanks to psyllium husk, I have a happy marriage and we lived happily ever after. And by the way, that wasn't even the best part of my experiment. After taking 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk 3 times a day, I noticed I was fuller and less interested in food, and I actually dropped around 4 pounds in a month. I also did my blood work and my lipid panels improved and my ApoB improved. It's one of the best predictors of heart disease risk that we have. And nowadays I have settled into 2 tablespoons a day, 30 minutes before dinner, and I do this because it basically kills my urge to snack at night. Just make sure if you're taking psyllium husk, you want to take it with plenty of water. I go for about 8 to 10 ounces. You want to do this so that your body just doesn't get super bloated. Number 5 is a greens powder, and I take this daily. Now, let me be clear about what this is and what it isn't. This is not a replacement for vegetables. It is the backup plan. So I eat real food, but I'm not perfect and nobody is. So I have travel days, I have busy weeks, I actually have restaurant meals, and a good quality greens powder can help you fill the gaps that your diet misses. And if greens powders aren't your thing, a basic multivitamin will do the same job. I look at it not as a meal replacement, but as nutrient insurance. So number 6 is glycine, and I take 5 to 10 grams before bed, and I talked about it on this video over here. Glycine is an amino acid your body already makes, but research suggests that most of us don't get enough to get the full sleep and recovery benefits. It also is the building block for collagen, which means that your skin can maintain firm skin elasticity, especially as you age. Now, something I learned after taking glycine is that my sleep quality improved measurably. Specifically, my REM sleep and deep sleep scores went up, and these are the stages where your brain files away memories and your body and brain actually repair themselves. And research actually shows that glycine lowers your core body temperature, which signals to your body that it's time for a deep sleep. It's one of the cheapest supplements you can buy, and almost no one takes it, and I would do it just for the sleep alone. Number 7 is omega-3s, and I take 1 to 2 grams of EPA and DHA daily. So your brain is about 60% fat, and it makes sense that it responds to getting the right fats. Now, the problem with the modern diet is that it's loaded with omega-6s due to the highly processed diets, but low in omega-3s. This imbalance can drive inflammation, mood swings, and even increased risk of heart disease. For me, omega-3s was one of my deficiencies. Since fixing it, I experienced way less joint pain, lower inflammation markers, and a subtle but real improvement in my mood. And also, if I get injured or if my joints are flaring up, I increase my dosage of omega-3s. It's one of the first moves before I do anything else because it helps fight inflammation. Now, if you do take omega-3s, the moment you open the bottle, you have to put it in the fridge because fish oil goes rancid at room temperature. And rancid omega-3s actually do more harm than good. Now, before you go copying the supplements I'm using, here's the thing. Anyone can copy a supplement snack, but what separates people who get results from people who just waste money is one thing. You want to know why each pill or powder is going into your body, and the only way to know is by getting blood work. Get a nutrient panel every 6 to 12 months and understand that your body also changes as you age. What was fine at 40 may not be optimal at 50, so test one thing at a time and let the data decide your decisions. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.